dysfunctional shit. This is some dysfunctional shit.
Prince William's disappointment and upset at Meghan Markle has been revealed by sources close to the royal reporter Kinsey Schofield.
You trust Kinsey Schofield's reporting. That's like trusting Dan Wooten to respect boundaries. Let's start here. The entire segment sounds like it was scraped off a Telegram channel, run by rejected GB News interns. You're parroting propaganda spoon-fed to you by people who couldn't pass a background check to get near a newsroom in the States. Kinsey Schofield is not a journalist. She's a Meghan impersonator who failed upwards by attaching herself to Diana's ghost, like a clout-chasing parasite. Her only source is whatever Dan Wooten mumbled into his vape pen during a live stream. Dan, by the way, is the same disgraced tabloid rat who got suspended from every legitimate platform and now runs a vanity podcast no one listens to unless they're collecting evidence for a defamation lawsuit. And I'm supposed to take this seriously? That William is hurt because Meghan dared to launch something on July 1st? Please. That date doesn't belong to him. And it doesn't belong to the firm. Yes, it's Princess Diana's birthday, but it's also the day Harry and Meghan first connected. It's personal to them. But once again, they're not allowed to have anything for themselves without being accused of spectacle, theft, or manipulation. It's exhausting. The same people who mock Meghan for being performative are now pretending to grieve a date they wouldn't remember if the press didn't remind them. The latest person exploiting Diana's memory isn't William. It's Dan Wooten. A man who built his entire career trafficking in the pain of others. Who used Diana when it suited him, just like he used Caroline Flack. Just like he tried to use his own colleagues while hiding behind fake identities and burner accounts. This isn't about protecting Diana's legacy. This is about keeping Meghan in a permanent state of punishment. Wooten doesn't care about Diana. He cares about his dwindling relevance afloat by attaching himself to any woman whose name will still generate outrage clicks. And this so-called cast iron promise, you think that came from the heart? That was PR spin. That was palace positioning. There's no sacred oath. There's no blinding agreement that Diana's memory can only be referenced under royal supervision. Dan Wooten wants to control who gets to speak her name. And Meghan isn't on his approval list. Harry lived the trauma. Meghan married into it. And that gives them every right to speak about Diana. Especially more than a washed-up media thug whose only talent is manipulating grief for engagement. This isn't journalism. It's a delusional support group with ring lights, unraveling over a woman who never acknowledged them and never will. And William? Spare me. If he's so disgusted, maybe he should take a hard look at himself. He's been hiding behind gossip merchants like Dan Wooten and Kinsey Schofield because he lacks the backbone to speak for himself. All that privilege and not an ounce of courage. And let's make one thing clear. Meghan isn't using Diana. What you can't stand is that she carries herself with the same grace, presence, and quiet power. And she does it without begging for your acceptance. She doesn't need to imitate Diana. She honors her by existing on her own terms. And that's what terrifies you.
It just feels like every time she speaks, it feels like she's like giving a TED Talk or writing a Hallmark card or something. I mean, I just feel like people maybe keep waiting to see more of a flawed, organic, messy version that we all are. But honestly, watching her show, it feels like it's like AI generated and it's just not realistic. I don't know.
So what you're trying to say is you want her basic just like you so you'll feel better. So now the new standard for relatable is sounding less intelligent and more messy. Let me get this straight. A woman with poise, purpose, and polish. And that's your cue to call her inauthentic. You said your friend baked a princess cake. Someone compared her to Meghan. And her response was, I'm more of a Martha Stewart. Okay, let's break this down. You know Martha Stewart. The woman who literally curated a brand around perfection. Whose entire empire is built on aspiration, not relatability. A woman who built an aesthetic where every flower was placed with tweezers. And every scone had a monogram. That Martha? So let's not pretend this is about authenticity. Because what you're really doing is cloaking a dig in faux feminist musings. You don't want Meghan to be authentic. You want her to be less articulate, less composed, less excellent, so you can stop feeling insecure every time she reminds you of how much more you could be. And this whole she sounds like a TED Talk or a Hallmark card argument, that's not a flaw. That's branding. That's control. That's a woman choosing her words carefully in a world that's constantly dissecting her existence. You think she's stiff? Maybe she's tired of being punished no matter what she does. You claim you wanted a flawed, messy version of her. But if she gave you that, you'd crucify her for being ungrateful, attention-seeking, or disrespecting the crown. And let's talk about what you really mean when you say you want Meghan to be less poised. That doesn't just sound biased. That sounds deeply microaggressive. Because when a black woman presents herself as elegant, intelligent, and in control, suddenly she's unrealistic. Suddenly it's AI generated. You're not asking for realness. You're demanding performative vulnerability on your terms. You're reinforcing the idea that black women need to bear scars, soften their voices, and dim their light just to earn grace that women like Martha Stewart are handed by default. You want relatable? Why? Why are we holding women to a standard of being average just so you can feel comfortable? Since when did mediocrity become a benchmark for connection? Meghan doesn't owe you a televised nervous breakdown to earn your sympathy. She doesn't need to cry on camera, overshare, or crumble for you to feel like she's real. Maybe you just need to unpack why women of color showing grace under pressure makes you feel uncomfortable. Because when you say she's falling flat, what you're really saying is she's not falling apart enough for me to like her. And if that's your requirement for admiration, maybe the flatness isn't in her delivery, it's in your expectations.
This is called the curse. The curse of Princess Diana, because when you slap your name on some wine, this is gauche. Money cannot buy class.
You want to talk about class? You, sitting on TikTok, in a crooked frame, ranting about rosé like it's a war crime, are not the authority on anything except unprocessed envy. You wouldn't know about class if it walked up and slapped you in the face wearing a name tag. You've mistaken volume for value. You've confused bitterness for discernment. And now you think Meghan, a woman you've never met, owes you time, tone, and permission before she moves? No, she doesn't. You know what's really gauche? The Meghan hate. It's tired. It's tacky. And it's starting to rot from overuse. You know what else is gauche? Using Princess Diana's death to farm engagement. Claiming Meghan is psychologically abusing Harry. Because she released wine on a day you personally declared sacred? Projecting pain on a family you don't even know? And doing it all with this breathless, faux concerned cadence. Like you're emotionally wrecked over a bottle of rosé. The only wreck here is you. And let's not forget, July 1st isn't just Princess Diana's birthday. It's also the date Meghan and Harry first connected. So while you're out here foaming at the mouth about curses and disrespect, you're ignoring the fact that the date also marks the beginning of their relationship. It's personal to them, not you. You are cosplaying grief, cosplaying empathy, cosplaying moral authority, because you have none. You want to talk about class? You're running a page called the Dark Entertainment Network, or The Den, which sounds less like a media platform and more like a dungeon for kink enthusiasts and expired incense. You act like it's some ominous beacon of truth, instead of what it actually is, a desperation chamber built on Meghan's shadow. Let's be honest, this is the only content of yours that gets views. Not your thoughts, not your ideas, her name. Typical of a woman like you. Opportunistic, bottom-feeding, and fake woke when it benefits you. You like throwing around terms like malignant narcissists and not reading the room. But the only room you need to read is your own echo chamber. You say it's disrespectful to Princess Diana? Diana, who was chased by the press. Diana, who was hounded, hunted, humiliated. You think she'd side with you? A woman gleefully repeating the cycle with the same glee that destroyed her. You don't honor Diana. You're cosplaying her grief for views. You've turned mourning into monetization. And there's the shipping scandal. Because if a few customers get refunds due to overwhelming demand, it's not logistics, it's a character flaw. You're holding up temporary fulfillment issues, something that luxury and mass market brands alike experience. As proof that Meghan is incompetent and inauthentic, even high-end labels struggle. Austrian luxury hosiery brand Walford recently had to apologize for major shipping delays and refund complaints. 90% one-star reviews on Trustpilot for switching delivery providers. That's a luxury label dealing with the same stuff. They fixed it, apologized publicly, and moved on. You're treating Meghan's logistics like Titanic. You're dissecting distribution chains like you're exposing a crime, not wine. And you leer at headlines, framing natural supply chain bumps as moral disaster. And then there's the jam. You're outraged it's made in Illinois, not Meghan's backyard. But guess what? Even high-end artisans outsource to certified co-packers to meet demand. Luxury food, fragrance, even perfumery do this all the time. You're inventing scandals where none exist because your brand needs controversy more than it needs truth. But here's the reality. The product sold out. The brand made headlines. You did what you always do. Turn a blip into a breakdown and pitch it as moral indictment. And here's what you really can't stomach. She's still here, still building, still moving forward, still succeeding without begging you, thanking you, or even acknowledging you. And it drives you mad. You've turned Meghan into a full-time job. A woman you claim to despise, yet track more obsessively than her PR team. You don't want accountability. You want collapse. You want to wake up one day and find her erased from the timeline because her very existence makes you feel smaller. And every time she rises, you shrink. You say she's performing royalty, but you're performing victimhood. Every day, every upload, every stitch. Clutching your pearls. Inventing moral crisis. Crying over wine drops. And jam jars like they're political warfare. You're acting out your jealousy in real time. And the saddest part? It's all so public. We are watching you spiral. We are watching you need her. We are watching you drown in your own obsession while pretending you're just reporting. Meghan doesn't see you. She doesn't hear you. She doesn't need to. Because when she sleeps at night, in her estate in Montecito, she's unbothered. And when you sleep, if you even can because it looks like you need some, you're still thinking about her. So keep saying her name. It's the only thing keeping yours alive.
Donald Trump is an idiot, and we are living through one of the most embarrassing times in American history for leadership. In a meeting with the president of Liberia, Joseph Boakai, President Trump asked him, "How did you learn English? Where were you educated?" As if Africans do not have education.
Well, thank you. And such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated? Where?
Yes, sir.
In Liberia.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's very interesting. That's beautiful English.
Sure.
I have people at this table can't speak nearly as well.
Very
And
good,
they,
sir. Thank you.
Boy, if you don't get
English is the official language of Liberia. English is the official language of 67 countries. I'm not aware if Trump knows this, but people in Africa speak English because there's multiple countries in Africa and around the world that speak English. I'm sure he thought English was just an Australian, British, and American thing, but it's spoken in a lot of places due to colonialism. But he said, "Where did you learn it?" When he said, "I went to school in Liberia," Trump said, "Oh, interesting. You know what else is interesting? How you're a fucking idiot and you failed out of school while the president of Liberia has multiple degrees. So not only is he more educated than you in scary Africa, which a lot of people are more educated than you there, he speaks multiple languages because of what? Colonialism. He has to speak his tribal language and the national language of the country because colonialism." America. Here we are.
home if you can't bear the words, but Prince Harry, there seems to be some sort of an attempt to make peace.
Yes, so this is, the Mail, King Charles and Prince Harry's senior aides have had this secret peace summit. Now, I was thinking, how can Harry come back into the fold while he's still married to Meghan? It seems to be
difficult.
Edward and Mrs. Simpson all over again. And then I remembered, hang on, if the Gallaghers can do it, if Liam and Noel can go out holding hands.
There seems to be some sort of an attempt to make peace.
Yes, so this is, the Mail, King Charles and Prince Harry's senior aides have had this secret peace summit. Now, I was thinking, how can Harry come back into the fold while he's still married to Meghan? It seems to be
difficult.
Edward and Mrs. Simpson all over again. And
hello, my people, Lady Rosie here. How y'all doing? All my new subscribers, you're welcome. And my returning subscribers, y'all know I love you. Yeah, I wanted you guys to listen to that. And I wanted y'all guys to listen to it a few times. Did y'all hear what these people said? How could Prince Harry return to the royal folds if he's still married to Meghan? Oh man, guys, this is on GB News. These are the so-called royal, whatever they call themselves, them trash people saying that. So only thing they want to see is the separation of these two, which will never happen. And they are actually the ones putting the fuel in the fire, because that guy is so immature. That guy, the father, Charlie boy, he's so immature. That guy grew up and everybody has to tell him what to do, how to behave. They even help him put his boxes on. He can't do anything by himself. He has to tell people to do every single thing. They put socks on him, they put everything, they wipe him down. There is just some kind of like a less than a man in my spirit. He's gonna listen to these people here, and guess what? I believe there is something that he wanted to do, and the reason why he is he leaked all this information. If I'm making peace with my own child, what does the nation or the world have to do with it? Why do I have to leak the story out there and tell everybody around the planet I'm making peace with my son? Y'all come on out here for the mediation. Come on here. I need all of y'all guys. And meanwhile, you telling me I'm what? The head of state, the king. And the king of what? Come on, guys. Yeah, he probably paid these people to come and tell y'all guys before I'm gonna accept any apologies from my son, or we're gonna make peace. He has to leave his wife, and that tells you how this guy doesn't really care about nobody. He doesn't care about his grandbabies. And why he doesn't care about his grandbabies, Prince Archie and Princess Elizabeth, is just the black blood. And meanwhile, they are looking for that spotlight from the black blood. If they do not mention Montecito, they do not mention Her Royal Highness Duchess of Sussex, those people are nowhere to even be found on news. They are there. Nobody watches them. That's why they have to bring the black one there, because guess what? We have substance. You know that little melanin that God did put in our skin. It just makes the presence of our souls everywhere. You know, when you see us, you feel us. But when you see them, my foes, all those inbred, you do not even feel like you saw a human being. Because of the hate they have in them. And because of that, I believe that whatever created them is not human. They did not descend from any kind of species of humans. They came from something that I can't put my fingers on. Those people are so hateful that I do not know what to say. I do not even know what to think about them. But guess what? They are so miserable because they feel less than. They have to mention a black woman to even get somebody to pay attention to them, because if they don't, nothing is gonna happen. Yesterday, Mambos went to Wimbledon. Did y'all see the news anywhere? I saw the people, even the people, they supporters. They came out here to pinpoint how she copied Princess Diana. She wore exact outfit that Princess Diana wore in the 90s. I tell you, me and that girl, that we were all little girls at that time there. Where were we sitting down there to kind of remember some kind of clothing that Princess Diana wore and stuff like that? But she asked the people who used to dress that lady, like, yo, I'm gonna go to Wimbledon and I need to copy someone. I've been copying Princess Meghan for too long. Right now here, I do not want this one here to go wrong. Go copy something from my mother-in-law. She can't be original. She can't do anything on her own. She has no creativity whatsoever, no substance, no talent whatsoever. She lacks every single damn thing. I mean, look at her shape. Does she look like a woman to you? Guys, y'all need to leave me alone. I'm not talking to y'all guys, the tall queens out there. I know lots of y'all guys there, like, with good shape and looking all beautiful. Looking all together like the females. But this one here, she look a little bit different. Girl, please leave me alone. You know the tall girls. Look at Maria Sharapova. Look at that Russian girl. She is tall, girl, and she plays tennis, and she's white and she's blonde. Look at her. If you pay close attention, you're gonna see the beauty. But when you take a make a man, boss, you do not see no damn beauty anywhere. I don't know where y'all guys call some stuff beautiful, but sometimes some of y'all guys need a binocular, wear some kind of magnetic magnifying glasses or something to kind of help with your eyes sometimes. Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, guys. So did y'all see what she wore yesterday? Princess Diana's outfit, 100% copy paste, and that's what she does. So when the Mambos isn't copying Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex, she's copying Princess Diana, and that is somebody y'all calling you future queen? Future what? Oh, Jesus Christ. Some of them queens. But one thing that I know, she's never gonna be queen. They got that Operation Reading Bridge already. It's up on it's ongoing. I can't wait for that Operation Reading Bridge. And you know, I need to focus on my driving. I'll talk to y'all guys again tomorrow. Please subscribe to all the success friendly channels. Bye for now.